Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. We want to get started right away here with some breaking news. There is an apartment fire in North Spokane right now. This is in the area of North Maple and Fairview Avenue.
We do know that one person is hurt. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is on the scene right now. And Kyle, what can you tell us about what's going on?
Well, Mark, we just confirmed with the fire department one adult male was taken to the hospital with injuries. We don't know if those are minor or major injuries, but just that one adult male is taken to the hospital to be treated for this fire. Spokane Fire Department actually got this fire knocked down fairly quickly. You can see they're still assessing some of the damage inside there. You have a little patio on the second floor that was pretty charred. But a lot of damage inside. We can see some windows shattered. Fire department tells us someone came home. They were actually trying to make some mac and cheese and I guess had some other groceries on the stove. Didn't realize that. They turned the stove on and those groceries caught fire. So again, one person injured, sent to the hospital. This fire is knocked down though. The fire department says other families living in this building may be able to stay here tonight except for the family upstairs. There may be some structural damage there. Reporting live in North Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you very much, Kyle. And now to another issue that is impacting cities across the nation, including Spokane. We're talking about homelessness. And those encampments have popped up under overpasses and alongside highways everywhere.
The state estimates there are more than 1,700 of those camps alongside the interstates and highways in Washington alone. And now Governor Inslee is pushing for an initiative to get people away from the highways and to get them the help they need. KREM 2's Cody Proctor has more from the governor and his new proposal. Cody?
Well, Mark, the governor spoke about Senate Bill 5662 as a way to help cities and other communities figure out the issue of homelessness. Now, that presser did take place this afternoon. The governor proposed more than $800 million to help with that proposal. Part of that funding is expected to be used for new housing investments, particularly for rapid housing that he says can be built in months rather than years. One example that he gave of rapid housing, according to the governor, includes building tiny homes. Now, the governor was joined by city leaders, including from Seattle, Tacoma, and Spokane. That included Councilmember Betsy Wilkerson.
I'm excited because it allows us to be flexible. It allows us to be nimble. It allows us to be responsive and unique to meet the needs in our own communities.
The governor's proposed funding would also be used for crisis resources and medical respite funding. Now, at this time, the bill has been referred to the Ways and Means Committee. In the newsroom, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
All right, Cody, thank you very much. In the meantime, a new shelter to help the homeless population, at least during daytime hours, is now open in Spokane. Jules Helping Hands opened up a brand new day shelter with a ribbon cutting yesterday. Its services will include a no-barrier clothing bank and food bank, a computer lab, and a de-escalation calming room. There will also be showers and a laundry area once that equipment can be installed.
Makes my heart happy, and it shows me that this community is ready and willing to come up with solutions to help their neighbors.
So the new shelter is located at 1819 East Springfield in Spokane. It's not far from Spokaneable, if you know where that is. It will be open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
More people are reacting to the news about Spokane County prosecutor's wife's racist comments on social media. The Inlander reported last week that Leslie Haskell had made racist comments on social media, that website Gab in particular, including using the N-word. According to the Inlander, she also said it was okay to use racial slurs for various minority groups.
Now, the news has garnered strong reactions since that news broke. Some people have expressed disappointment in those revelations, including prominent local defense attorney Bevan Maxey.
I was out of town when the news broke, and I got to say, I comment on that with a heavy heart because I've known Mr. Haskell for a long time, and I want to say that he's always been decent with me and very professional. But I think, unfortunately, the position is much more than the individual.
So coming up tonight at 6 here on KREM 2, we'll have more on the reaction that he had to Haskell's comments, including also from the local NAACP vice president.
Family members of loved ones killed at the hands of police rallied at the Washington State Capitol today. They say that some lawmakers have turned their back on the police accountability laws that they worked to pass.
Now, following the deaths of their relatives, these survivors worked on bills to change how police can enforce the law here in Washington, backing laws outlawing chokeholds, limiting use of force, and cutting down on the number of crimes that police can chase after suspects for.
But after law enforcement said those new rules were preventing them from enforcing laws and detaining certain suspects, lawmakers this year are saying the laws need to be clarified, and in some cases those thresholds for use of force and pursuits need to be lowered.
It is not okay to go back on your promises that you made to impacted families and you want to dial back what you did. Because political pressure is getting to you.
Now, the bills that will allow for more use of force and more police chases passed out of committee this morning. There are still several hurdles, though, before the laws are officially changed, but they do have a lot of momentum right now, and that's why those families say they're especially worried.
The bill to regulate so-called magic mushrooms will not pass during this legislative session. Democratic State Senator Jesse Solomon confirmed that with our sister station in Seattle today. He introduced the bill to legalize the therapeutic use of magic mushrooms to treat, quote, behavioral health conditions.
Well, after a full day of snow yesterday, things were much calmer today. Things, though, not necessarily going to stay that way. We want to turn things over to meteorologist Tom Sherry for a quick look at the forecast as we're getting closer to the weekend.
Well, good news and bad news here, I guess, depending on how you view it. Temperatures are going to go up. It won't be as cold tonight as we've seen the past 2 mornings. At the same time, we're most likely going to see some wet weather on the way, and that will start out in the form of snow by tomorrow afternoon. Very similar to what we saw yesterday and into this morning. Just about an inch accumulation, could even change to rain by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon. Right now we're at 26 degrees, and as you look at the satellite radar picture, we're not seeing anything in the way of precipitation right now. I mentioned it being not as cold. 28 the overnight low, 37 the high on Friday. Could see that snow shower change over to rain as we get late in the day and continue into the evening hours. For the weekend, though, looks mostly dry. I'll check your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. Yesterday, the Spokane Regional Health District said that Eastern Washington could see a decline in COVID cases in the coming days. Well, today's numbers are lower than yesterday's, so hopefully that is a good sign. There were 682 new cases reported today. Yesterday, there were more than 700 new cases. There were 204 hospitalizations reported today as well, and that is a decrease of 1 since yesterday.
Meanwhile, the federal government is sending states N95 masks so pharmacies can hand them out to customers for free. KREM 2 did reach out to several local pharmacies here today just to find out where you can get yours. We learned that Albertsons is offering those masks at their pharmacy windows. Also, some Safeway and some Rite Aid stores will have those in stock. However, they say you should call ahead and check your location before you go. Walmart is going to be handing out those masks from their front entrances. Fred Meyer pharmacies and CVS also still waiting for their masks to arrive. They say they do expect those shipments very soon.
Spokane teachers are stretched thin. For the past month, the district has dealt with staffing shortages because of COVID-19. So we went to Stevens Elementary today to see how staff there are covering these new teacher absences.
So in mid-January, the most teacher absences that Stevens Elementary saw was 20 staff members out for the day. Now, the administrators then had to decide which teachers could teach a different class other than their own, or possibly put staff on a rotating schedule for that day.
At the peak of these absences, the principal says teachers had to go without breaks or prep time.
We went ahead and just took 5 to 6 classrooms out at a time for 30-minute segments so that teachers could have that 30-minute planning and prep time to support their classrooms.
The good news is they're starting to see a decrease in those daily teacher absences. They hope that trend will continue.
COVID-19 safety protocols have been put into place ahead of 4 high school rivalry basketball games set to take place at the Spokane Arena the week of February 7th. The games were originally set to take place in January, but they were rescheduled due to COVID. 3 of the 4 schools will require attendees over the age of 12 to show proof of full vaccination against COVID or a negative FDA-approved PCR test taken within 72 hours of the event. So rapid at-home COVID tests will not be accepted. Also, all 4 schools will require attendees over the age of 5 to wear face coverings.
Well, after being open for more than a decade, the Kroc Center is finally getting some much needed upgrades. What's new for the next time you see a show there when we come back?